I once watched my mother get out of her car in a parking lot at Kmart and cuss a lady out for taking her parking spot. This is the same woman who didn't announce what was for dinner, didn't announce what time dinner would be. But dinner would be prepared. When it was done, she would knock on your door and say, dinner. If you didn't want what was prepared, have a leftover. Don't make nothing else, because that's part of her plan. And if there's nothing to make, or there are no leftovers, or you don't prefer what she has made, that's fine. You don't eat. That's your answer. You just don't eat. My mother was a woman who went to work most days of the week, and she would come home and she would get on the internet. And it was dial up, by the way, so don't think about using the phone. And she would play cards. Specifically, she would play Yahoo spades. And I don't know if she gambled online or anything, but I know spades was her thing. This was a woman who would make a fuss, was always willing to make a fuss, was always willing to just dig into somebody if she had to. Oh, here's a fun story. And now as an adult, I can see it completely differently. It was my sister's graduation, and all my mother's sisters were in town for this because it was like, hey, look, Elaine's kid graduated. I know I hadn't. I was the black sheep. So they all got together and they went to my sister's graduation. And like most people who would graduate, you would expect that high school student to go out with friends or go party or go get fucking drunk. Like something not with your parents. So after the graduation, my mother went home with her sisters and they sat around the dining room table and they smoked weed and they played cards and they drank and they talked shit. And I remember my sister being crushed over that. Like, it's supposed to be my special day. And why aren't we doing something with me? And as a child, I can understand that you might feel that way. But as an adult, you can look back at that and say, I came to your graduation. More than likely, I'm going to cook you a meal, But I have taken the day off of work for this. That thing has been concluded. I am now going to spend time with my siblings, whom I don't get to see very often. And regardless to how, because at the time I thought weed was the worst thing ever. Like, that's just something you don't do. Regardless to what they were doing, it was for her to do. She probably just assumed that my sister was going to go out and do something with her high school friends. And when my sister, who didn't have a whole lot of friends, because frankly I love my sister, but she's kind of an uppity bitch, didn't have a lot of friends, so probably didn't go out and do anything, was depending on my mother to provide some sort of entertainment. And now I can look back at that event and go, my sister was completely wrong. My mother was well within her rights to do whatever the fuck she wanted to do on her day off. Why wouldn't you? Because my mother, and this, I'm getting back to the point. My mother did not like to make a fuss about her. So she also did not make a fuss about her children. She often told us, I love you because I have to, not because I want to. You're here and I will take care of you because I have to. That don't mean I want to. And I get that from somebody who was raised in the 50s and 60s and dealt with fucking slavery and the stigma of an interracial marriage that didn't work twice. She didn't want to make a fuss. so she didn't. And she didn't want a fuss made about her. So for Christmas or for birthdays, when we would go see her, it was really more drop off a present, give her a hug, say, hey, how you doing? Happy birthday. Enjoy the rest of your day. And then we went about our business because that's what she wanted. She never wanted a fuss made about her. It's the reason I won't get a tattoo of her name or something that says mom. She doesn't agree with that. So why would I get something to honor my mother she didn't agree with? That's stupid. I feel like I took the writer's way around to get to the point, which is today, on my mother's 64th birthday, the best thing I could do to honor her is to not make a big fucking deal. Not at all. There's a meal that reminds me of my mother. From my father, it's like this chicken noodle thing. I'm not sure if he invented it, but like it's weird. It's like chicken and like noodles. It's like it sounds like it would be a soup, but it's not.
It's almost like chicken Alfredo.
Yeah, kind of. So it's an original thing. So maybe he did make it, and then
if you look at the bag, now there's a recipe for it.
All right, so I put my wife up on game. So now she'll put like peas in it, or like pieces of broccoli and onion, like or steak. Like she's taken it and made it her own.
Sorry.
So hey, no, and it's fine, and it's a reminder of my father, but it's also a dish made by my wife.
One day our kids will be making steak boodles like
they will. One day, 30, 40 years from now, our kids will be sitting around and it'll be like, hey guys, day 2856, because this channel will still be here. We're making boodles from my dad, and it's like my wife's husband, and he's like, I don't even know what the fuck this is, and it's gonna be a completely different thing.
Can you see a Serenity in the kitchen making?
Right, that's so creepy. It's creepy to think that one day my kids will be doing it, and I promise you, I'm gonna whore my kids out. Like every day, I'm gonna be following them around with a camera.
Are they paying?
Are they paying?
Yeah.
No, not whoring them like that. You dirty girl.
Never mind. That's not what I meant.
Wow! Really?
We wouldn't have to work.
Prostitute? I know. Wow. So hey, my father's favorite thing was this chicken bootly thing he made. We even called it chicken boodles, and then we just shortened it to boodles because we were weird. But for my mother, whose name at birth was Artie Elaine Harris. Fun story, her name was supposed to be Addie. They misspelled it. It was Artie.
So
Artie.
She didn't like to be referred to.
So, nope, she never used Artie. She just passed it by, and she just went by Elaine. So, my mother, her name given at birth was Artie Elaine Harris. She got married a couple of times. And she ended up taking his last name. She took my father's, then my stepfather, whatever. Somehow, her name ended up nickname being Joe. And I remember
you were little, or was that much later?
No, this was when I was a kid.
Okay.
And I remember she had a license plate that said Lady L. And because it was in cursive, I was convinced that it said Lady J, which was like from G.I. Joe. So I was like, my mom don't like G.I. Joe. She faking. No, you perpetrating. What? The L?
Lady L. What the L?
I don't know. I don't know.
Maybe she had a whole different life that you didn't know about.
I don't know. But see, that's what's weird. And this is where it's coming from, because her nickname was Joe. So you would think that the license plate actually did say Lady J. Maybe it was Lainey for Elaine. I don't know.
Maybe the name you know wasn't her name at all.
Dum dum dum. I don't know. So, a meal that my mother used to make for us when we were kids was manwich, which is affectionately referred to as Sloppy Joe for you ghetto people like I was when I was younger.
Pause. No, wait a minute. Let's do this real quick, okay?
Yes.
It is called Sloppy Joe.
Is it?
Yes, it is called Sloppy Joe. Manwich is a brand by like Hunt's or something that has a sauce for Sloppy Joe. Manwich, in my opinion, I've never liked Manwich. I just don't like the sauce. My mom has always made the sauce, which is why when I make you Sloppy Joe, I make the sauce. It's more like a barbecue.
It's actually called Sloppy Joe. That's not like an affectionate term.
No, I mean there might be another term for it, but Manwich is the brand. That's like calling
Band-Aids?
Yeah, exactly.
Because it's like they're really just adhesive strips.
Yeah, exactly.
Band-Aids is the name
it's
brand.
It's the name brand. That's basically...
Alright, so if that be the case, that's fine. So we would have Sloppy Joes when we were kids.
You can call it Manwich though. It's
like
fine.
the go-to meal was Sloppy Joes, French fries, and grape Kool-Aid. That was... I don't want to say we look forward to it, but...
That was your meal.
But like when she made it, we was like, "Oh snap! Mama made Sloppy Joes." It was like yeah. And because her nickname was Joe, we would tease her and be like, "When we gonna have sloppy mamas?" And she would get upset.
Oh no, she didn't like it.
She didn't like it at first.
I feel bad for saying it.
But it was the kind of thing that went on for years. So eventually...
Did your dad say it too?
Yeah. So eventually she was like, "Hey guys, I made sloppy mamas." And you could hear the disappointment. Aww. But also, that's what they were called. So it's like, "Hey guys, I made you sloppy mamas." And
you guys chuckle every time?
We did. We did. It was just like I had a teacher in the 3rd grade. Her name was Miss Kellogg, and every day we would call her by a different cereal.
Oh god!
And she hated it. But anyway, that's completely off the subject. So my wife, my beautiful, beautiful wife, went out and got what was necessary to make a German chocolate cake, which was my mother's favorite type of cake. And if you watched the thing from yesterday, there was this whole fiasco with the numbers, and she was really hurt about not getting the right numbers, which I thought was really sweet that she was so concerned, but it was unnecessary. But what I didn't know, because we've been kind of running low on money, I didn't think there was going to be a big elaborate anything. She went out and got what was necessary to make me sloppy mamas. So tonight for dinner, I had sloppy mamas and fries and grape Kool-Aid. And it was just a throwback to my childhood. I mean, it's like, at the same time, we were sitting around watching YouTube videos, so it's not like I was just...
She didn't want you to make a fuss.
Like, but I wasn't immersed in nostalgia. But the point was, remember, but don't make a fuss. So, to me, that was the best way to remember her today. And to do... Yes, sir!
Could I have some cake?
Yes, but let me come... You know what? I'm not going to make a big deal. Go ahead and fucking cut it. Yeah.
Because you started to say
I started to say it, but in the middle of me doing the whole video is about not making a big fucking deal about it.
Okay.
Yes. Please, cut the cake. Have a slice, sir. I was about to contradict myself, because if I was like, well, I need to cut it, that would be me making a big deal. It's not a big deal. It's a cake. It's a cake that my mom liked, so tonight we will have it. I'll probably have a piece before I go to bed just to say I did. I'm not even hungry, but it seems like I should, so I will. So today, the best way I can honor my mother is to remember and not make a fuss. So, happy birthday, Grammy. I'm not making a fuss. I feel I was about to hit the button and finish this, but I feel like some clarification needs to be. Here's an addendum. Here's a pig sidebar for you. Pig sidebar about pig sidebar. Like, that's from Attack of the Show. And I've looked on YouTube for Attack of the Show pig sidebar because I want to show Asia that's so funny. It's just this funny little reference from G4 TV from back in the day. And they're like, all right, quick pig sidebar. And they would talk about something else. And then they would come back to the first subject. I want to find that so she can see it. But, you know, whatever. So, pig sidebar. I call my mother Grammy because she was my son.
Actually, his grandmother.
She was my son's grandmother. And and I know a lot of parents did this. I know I did it. I know my mom did it. And then when I had a son, we did it again with Kari. When around him, as a child, to ensure that he remembered roles, we called each other what he should be calling us. So I called my sister Auntie, and I called my mother Grammy, and she called me Daddy. And it was never a weird, creepy thing. And then even after he was old enough, he was like maybe 7 when she died. I don't even think he has very many memories of her at this point. Probably more memories of her husband, because he was a lot more hands-on. But anyway.
I thought you were about to say handsome. Like, whoa.
No, hands-on. They played more.
No, I heard you. But I assume, like, when you started saying that word, it's like you were saying handsome. Like, wow. Didn't know you had a crush on her. Well, okay.
So even when Kari wasn't around, like, she would call me. And it's like, caller ID was like the big deal. Do you remember back in the day when you had a box next to your phone and like the numbers showed up there and you had to look at it and decide if you wanted to answer? That's where I'm from. Those were the days. So you would look at it and it would see her name and her number, which I still remember the number, 313-935-0237. Don't know why that's drilled into my head, but it is. And you would see that number, and you would pick up the phone. This video game control. It's gonna be my phone because I hate when people do this because this is more like dude. So I'm not gonna do that. So you pick up the phone, and I'll go, "Hey, Grammy," and she'd go, "Hey, Daddy," and then we'd move into our conversation because that's just what we were used to calling each other. So that's why I refer to my mother as Grammy, and I probably always will. So on this day. Happy birthday, Grammy. I like who I am.
I like you.
I like where I've come. My son is 21 years old. You now have an adult grandchild who's ready for the world. He is. He can do it. Barley. Yeah, I think he's ready. When the time comes, I think Kari's ready. I have a trophy of a wife. Holy shit. And I'm sorry that I cussed in front of you, Mom. Holy shit. Trophy wife of a wife, man. Oh my God. Way above your kid's pay grade. How I did it, I don't know. Ooh, I don't know. Actually, it's funny. I was having this conversation the other day with a few people, and I said that exact same thing. I was like, I don't know how I managed to get my wife, but I can actually answer that. And then, wow, we're going to cut this short.
I'm sorry, you keep saying that.
I know.
But if you have things to say.
Yeah, but if there are things to say, then I'll say it. But it's just like, I don't want to ramble for the sake of rambling.
What's the sake of rambling? If you have something to say and this is for you, then there's
That's true. And I keep meaning to wrap it up, but then other things come up. The reason that I was able to secure a woman out of my pay grade, the reason why a woman who, quite frankly, with her skills, could have any dude she wanted. Please. Between your cooking and cleaning and your skills.
I'm sorry, I don't have supermodels after me. So.
Whatever. You know you a fine piece of ass across the board. No. It's like, they always say that behind every hot woman is a dude sick of boning her. It's like, the people who we know in the circles that we run and the guys that we associate with, it amazes them when they say, when I tell them, it's like, yeah, man, Asia was trying to, get freaky with me. And I was like, dude, I'm tired. It's like, what? Why would you do that? Have you seen your wife? It's like, dude, it's right there. It's like a hot and ready. It's like when I want it. So there's no stop it. But I know how I landed her. It's very simple. I told her what I was going to do and I did it. That's it. I said, hey, baby, I love you. And I did. Hey, baby, I'm going to wait for you. And I did. Hey, baby, I will never leave you. And I stuck around. I just fulfilled the obligations that I told her I would do. I can't tell you how many times some dude told my wife, oh, I love you. I'm going to never give up on you. I'm going to always be waiting on you.
I love you, girl.
Yeah, where are they now? So you can rest comfortably knowing that your son set out to do something and he did it. I have landed a woman above my pay grade and made her think that I did her a favor. Okay? Wow. It's amazing. But know that I'm on my first marriage And there won't be another one after that. That's no slight against you, Grammy, but I know you did it a couple of times. It didn't really work out, and then there was that whole thing with the crack. So that's not your fault, though. He was
not her.
No, not him.
No,
he was on crack.
Yeah,
and also had a weird obsession with cats.
Like, okay, define weird, because you like cats a lot.
Like,
too.
okay,
and
weird obsession with cats. Like, my mother wouldn't let him have cats in the house,
right?
So he would adopt like neighborhood alley cats.
Okay.
And every day, like after work, he would pick up like $10 worth of cat food.
Every day?
Yeah, every day. And that's on top of the $20 worth of lottery tickets that they had, and they picked up beer every day too. But you know, hey, she was.
Your mom a beer drinker?
Oh yeah, that was
her.
You know, right now, if you knocked on Carr's door and said, "Jay, bring me a beer," he would chuckle, because she had trained him how to bring him a beer. So these alley cats would come up onto the back porch, and they would eat, and she was like, "Okay, they're not in the house, so I guess whatever. Just make sure you clean it up." Man, soon as she died, and I hate to say it like that, I do, but as soon as she died, it was like every alley cat he ever knew, and every litter of kittens those alley cats had, he was like, "Hey guys, come on in," and the whole house was just cats. He was like crazy cat dude.
Okay, if you had to take a guess, how many cats are we talking?
There, on any given day, because the back door was weird, where you could leave it. It had like a doggy door, but it was also like a lock on that door, so the dog couldn't come in at certain times. But he always left that open. Mm-hmm. At any given time, there would be 20 cats in that house.
Oh my God, ew.
And
how big was the house?
It was a big house. I mean, It was a really nice house.
But still, you talking
had an upstairs, a downstairs, a basement.
Cats.
So
these aren't clean cats.
No, and these aren't talking like small cats.
These aren't
like
a bunch of small cats.
No, these are like prom night dumpster baby alley cats. Like, you know, the ones where they in the cartoons, they like sitting on garbage cans.
Like Aristocats?
Yeah, and it's like they got fish, but it's just the fish bones. Oh, it's like, these were filthy cats. Oh, no. These were disgusting cats.
So you didn't need, as much as you love cats, you didn't want to pet these cats?
No, it's like, we didn't want, and then when she died, we would go order to clean up, because we knew that's what she would want. Right. You know, but that's a whole nother story. I'm not gonna go down that one, because and after that we stopped going. So I don't. After the day we went over there, and he had some chick in our house. It's like, really, dog? Don't even get me started on that whole insurance thing. But whatever. So today, Grammy, on your birthday, I will remember stinky cats and punishments where you locked me in my room and told me that I had to piss in a bucket, but you would always let me out and let me pee, because you weren't like a complete dick. You know?
Handcuff you to the basement.
Yeah, you know, it's not like you handcuff me and beat me in the basement or anything. You know, today on your birthday, I will remember German chocolate cake and the ever so popular rule of, I'm not gonna make you eat, but that's it. Like, no, you don't want spaghetti? That's cool. This is what we having. So eat or don't eat. I have provided you a meal. Do what you want with it. I will remember you fondly on your birthday, even for a memory that prior to this day I had remembered negatively, because Trina was being a self-absorbed, entitled bitch. I'll tell you about it. I'm sure I've told you the story, and I told it in from such a biased perspective that you were like, yeah, that is fucked up. But now, as a 42-year-old man with a grown son, it makes complete sense to me.
Okay, then I'm not going to be biased this time. So okay. I'm sure I'm not biased because you think a certain way this time.
I'll tell you the story, and then you'd be like, so on today, Grammy, happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Like, I feel like in a 25-minute video, 23 of these minutes, you were like, okay, I get it. It's my birthday. What did you get me? Like, so I'm going to let you go back to your Yahoo spades. Enjoy the rest of your evening.